Hey everybody! So this week I'm gonna do another one of these versus type videos. I should probably make a playlist for these. We're talking about emulators versus original hardware. You know, like the original console and all that. You know, because like a lot of things, there's pros and cons to each. So, well, let's just get right into it. With original hardware, the thing is like, you know, whether it be like NES, Genesis, Super Nintendo, N64, PlayStation, etc. There's just something about like taking the original cartridge or disc or whatever the case may be and putting it into the console and you know the old startup screen, everything. It's just like this great sense of nostalgia, like this nostalgic feeling and all that jazz. Um, where it's like you don't really get that same feeling with emulators, but and I'm somebody who uses both. Like, to be honest with you, like, I think I've said it 100 times on this channel. I just like having multiple options, especially when it comes to like retro gaming. Um, and although I prefer physical media, I don't mind digital. Like, obviously that's another thing. Digital is obviously much more convenient. Whereas like the original hardware, like when you think about, because I know people who have like every console under the sun, whether from like the Atari's 2600 to the PS5 and Xbox Series, and they, some of these people still buy like all their physical games. So it's like, you gotta put all that, that all adds up. Like all the, like Atari games, NES games, Genesis games, ColecoVision, Atari Vision, wow, Intellivision, Genesis, Super Nintendo, N64, PS1, Sega CD. I mean, not well that too, but also Sega Saturn, PS2, Xbox, GameCube. The list goes on, but you get my point. It's like that's a lot of games to, that's a lot of space to take up. But people do it. Whereas like emulators, it's all just right there. Like it's another thing is emulation is free. Whereas, like, a lot of these retro games, I mean, like, obviously games, like, nowadays, too, but games, we're talking about more about retro stuff. Retro games can be very expensive. Like, I actually did a whole video about that a while ago, about how, prices have skyrocketed. Like, some of the games I have are gone way up in price. Like I said, and obviously there's other alternatives, like reproduction carts and stuff, but we're talking about like the original hardware. Like, nothing against reproduction carts. I have quite a few of them myself, but we're talking about like the original hardware that was made, the original hardware that was made years ago, not like the ones that were made in recent years. But like again, but emulations and ROM sites are free unless you're Nintendo, which Nintendo has like the Nintendo Switch Online, which has NES and Super Nintendo games. And then, it's $20 a year. That I'm going to talk about this real brief. Then the expansion pack, which I believe launches this week, is another $30 a year for N64 and Genesis games, and it also includes the Animal Crossing DLC, which is it's basically it's a game that not everybody owns, and basically you're just gaining access to the DLC. So it's like, what happens if the yearly subscription runs out? Can you no longer play that DLC or whatever? But the funny thing about that is, and one thing that also kind of puzzles me about that is it's like, it has the Genesis, Contra, and Castlevania games, Castlevania Bloodlines and Contra Hardcore, but it's like we don't have the NES and Super Nintendo Contra and Castlevania games, because why? But anyway, as of me, I'm recording this video on Sunday night, Sunday, October 24th. So, just for the hell of it, let's take a look at that videos from Nintendo that originally the trailer for the expansion pack. Let's just take a look at the like-dislike ratio. It's at 998,000 views. It's about to crack 1 million views. And so let's see. 16,000 likes, and that I think that's pretty much been stagnant for a while, because I checked this, I think, 16,000 likes, 92,000 dislikes. Damn. And I checked this probably a few days ago, and the 16,000 likes, even then it was 16,000 likes. I think it was around like 50 or 60,000 dislikes, so it's going up by like 30,000. Damn, gee, I wonder how people feel, but there's been all kinds of memes and shit about it all over the internet. But that aside, yeah, it's not worth it. I don't know. I honestly don't think it. It'll be interesting to see, because like I said, I think that launches this week, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. That being said, back to emulators versus original hardware. Another thing is emulation and like ROM sites and stuff has more longevity. Like, it's, original hardware can and will eventually wear out. I mean, it kind of also depends on how well you take care of your stuff, your cartridges, your discs, and consoles and everything, but they can still wear out over time. Whereas, like, emulators will never go away. There's thousands of ROM sites out there, and they're, like I said, they're all free. And where was I going with this? Like, ROM sites will always be around. You can download the ROMs, you can have them on your PC or laptop or whatever. You can copy them onto, what the hell do you call them? Those little USB sticks, and then you just transfer them to other computers or whatever, or share them with your friends or whatever the case may be. Like I said, there's longer longevity. And that's another thing, is that another convenience factor is that the, if you wanted to play, say, bring some Super Nintendo games to a friend's house, you could bring the original console controllers and cords and have, a whole bunch of games, or you could just bring, your laptop and a couple of, Xbox 360 controllers and everything, and then you just plug it into the TV. That's a little more convenient. But, obviously, there's also another thing is, just also because of collective purpose, which I think I already mentioned, but, it kind of looks nicer to have, collection and stuff. But, yeah, I think those are just some of my personal, I think, pros and cons of emulators versus original hardware. What are some that you know? Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.